Classic FM Book on Review. My name is Benji. You find me on the $100 bill, and a pleasure. Tonight, the dynamic duo catalyst for unstoppable success. Grace and Grit, the twin catalyst for unstoppable success, explores the harmonious blend of divine grace and human grit, showing how these elements work together, synergize to drive extraordinary achievements. Now, this book is a vital resource for understanding how spiritual principles and practical efforts intersect to foster unparalleled success. And the reason why this book has come to be is because many believers struggle by relying solely on grace, leading to a passive approach to challenges. And then this book reveals that grace requires active participation, and that grit, the courage, the toughness to persevere, is equally essential. Through biblical insights, practical applications, and real-life examples, Grace and Grit equips the reader to harness these two catalysts for unstoppable success. A few words there. I mean, for some of us who did a bit of research in school, some very key words, they keep repeating themselves. But we'll come to that just in a bit. And let me welcome Tunde Ebidero, the author. This is your home anyway. Again, congratulations on this.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you, pleasure.
And thank God for Johnny Mercies as well. Yes. All right. Grace and Grit. Oftentimes we hear people say that before it happens physically, it has been settled spiritually. And the title that you gave this book also lays credence to that, because you chose grace first, before grit.
Yes.
Was that deliberate?
Oh yeah, it was.
How deliberate? How
well,
so?
I believe that's the way it ought to be arranged, just like you said. It's a belief that I also have that before anything happens in the physical, it's already been concluded in the spiritual. So whatever we do here, it's a done deal in the spiritual. So, and grace represents the spirit aspect of our lives, while grit represents the physical aspect. God has to give his nod to anything that we want to do. So, and whenever God gives his nod to anything we want to do, what he does immediately is to release the grace for us. So that's why grace comes before grit.
But see, isn't it possible that someone is listening to us right now and is saying that, man, I've voted for God for too long. Man, I think I need to help myself. When we get to that point as humans, is it that we have traded grace for grit, or we have allowed something away from both grace and grit to come in?
Well, you said person said he or she has waited for God for
and
too
he's no
long.
longer waiting on God.
Yeah, so that means it's someone who believes in God, one, to start with, and then who also understand the need for God in his life. So he's waiting and not receiving anything. I don't think it's God, and most of the time it's not because God hasn't said anything. It's because he also has not discovered what God is saying to him, or to her.
So what then happens to, that person who, from get-go, he tells you that, look, I don't believe there is God?
Well, we have a lot of them now, particularly the way the world is going. In the West now, so many unbelievers or so many atheists, and people say they don't believe in God. But I don't think that stopped God from doing what he wants to do.
True.
Okay, true. Whether you believe in God or not, he still gets to use you. So it is his prerogative. So it's not about you whether you believe, but it's the fact that he's still going to use you. In the Bible, there was the king that God used. He wasn't a believer, but God used him for Israel. And so it doesn't matter what you believe, God still gets to use everybody.
Anytime I come across people that say that they don't believe there is God, and I would just simply ask them that the air that you're breathing, how much do you pay for it? Because if I get sick or anyone gets sick, you pay for even the air that we take
the
for
oxygen
granted.
you
You pay
buy.
for air.
Yeah, it's a lot.
You pay for oxygen.
Yeah, oxygen is a lot less expensive.
Do you understand?
Yes.
You pay for it. So how much did you pay for it? And the person will start looking at me like, well, they don't have any answers for that. Okay, but I'm also looking at your title. I mean, you have a kicker, what we call the kicker, which is the dynamic door catalyst for unstoppable success. Can you explain that better? Why are they dynamic? I mean, when you say something is dynamic, it means that it evolves.
Yes, it means one, it evolves. Two, it also means that it's not avoidable. It's a necessity. Okay, there are major important things in the two ingredients that you need to succeed in life. And so why we mix the two together is to let you know that one, to start with, you can't use one and leave the other. No matter how spiritual or how anointed you are.
That's why the word
yes.
D-U-O.
Yeah. So no matter how anointed you are, you still need grit to be able to survive, or to be able to succeed rather. And that's one of the things that really prompted me to write in this book. I looked at Africa. Africa, we're very religious in Africa. We're very spiritual in Africa. But yet, we look around us, poverty is everywhere. People are failing. Success is eluding us as if it's nothing else. And yet, we're in all the prayer houses, all the religious houses. We're filling it up every day. We're praying at every hour. And yet, we're not getting the desired result. And I found out that the missing link is the grit. Okay? You need the grace, okay, but you also need the grit.
True.
So, and if you read, when you buy the book and read it for those listening, we will define what grace is, which is, many people want to define grace as unmerited favor. Well, whatever it is, grace is just God giving you what you need to survive or to succeed rather. Okay, but you now take grace and you run with it by including your own effort.
Now, when I read that part in your book, I said, tonight both of us are going to pick a bone. Okay. When you say something is unmerited, now where is the role of you've got kids, you've got children in the I've got myself. Yeah. Tonya has. Now, so where is the place of, at a particular point in your life, as young people, you must go to school. From school, you must go to the university. And then from university, so why do we have those things, lined out, if at the end of the day, they still will not lead to something that's merited?
Well, what you're saying is, okay, let me bring this word. That's what they call kesera. Kesera was going to be.
It's in your book.
Going to be.
Yes, what's going to be is going
yeah,
to be.
that's not correct. That's not the way life is run. Okay, everything God does, He does it by arrangement. He puts everything in perspective, in arrangement. It's Bible says line upon line, precept upon precept. So that's why even in our lives we need to go through the processes. For me, for example, I always define success. I always tell people that success is scientific. And what I mean by success scientific, it follows a procedure. And anybody can be successful.
True.
Once you understand the procedure and you follow it. Success is not, in Africa we believe that some are destined to be rich, some are destined to be poor, some are destined to serve another.
And we say that a lot.
Yeah, of course, those are part of the challenges or the faulty ideology that is affecting us in Africa. But that's not true. Because, if you look at the developed world, averagely, a lot of people are successful. A lot of people are living happily. But why? Is it that God loves them more than us? I mean, despite the fact that we are serving Him, presumably, more than them. So why is it favorable to them than us? But the truth is that we miss the point. The point is this. We need God, quite okay, but we also need the things that He has even put in us. Because if you remember, at one point in my book, I also reconnected grit to faith. Because I said even the grit too, even though because what is grit? Grit is your innate ability to be able to be persistent, dogged, and stay on your goal until you achieve it. Okay? And not transferring the responsibility of achieving your goal to somebody else. Either a supreme being or anybody else.
There's someone that's listening to us right now, and the person believes that the usual Nigerian kind of thinking, that it doesn't matter what you read, it doesn't matter who you are, what matters is who you know. You know, and I want you to speak to that. At what point do we draw the line to say, this is who you know? Or is there a possibility that God could have positioned that person to help you? Not that you know the person. I mean, without God, maybe you could never even met the person, talk less of. I don't know. I need you to speak to that.
Yeah. You know, you're talking about providence. That's exactly what you. Because, yeah, I believe in providence. Providence is real. It's for real, and God always orchestrates circumstances and put people on our paths to help us achieve the assignments He has given us. But however, you understand, we need to also play our role. Like I was saying earlier, the process to success that I found in the developed world is you're gifted, you're talented, you're skillful, okay, you have good IQ, you're intelligent. Once you have all these things, and you know how to discipline yourself to pursue a goal, naturally you'll be successful. But in our part of the world, we have jettisoned all these things, and we have concluded that I need to know somebody on top, or that's all I need. I need to be connected. That's all I need. Oh, I need miracle, okay, or I need divine provision. But that's not correct, and that's why we're where we are. You know, we depend solely on someone else to help us to achieve our success. While the guys on the other side know that all they need to achieve success is already in them. Even when God is coming in to help us, He will always use what we have. Okay, let's look at this thing. In the Bible, everyone that encountered God, and God had to respond to them or give them anything, check it. He will always give them what they want from what they have. When He met Moses, He said, "What's in your hand?"
Yeah, it's true.
Everybody, when the women of Zarephath, what do you have in the house? Because He has given to everyone. The Bible says He has given to all what pertain to life and godliness. So it means that what we need to survive or what we need to succeed in life is already given to us. It's embellished in us. For example, somebody who's playing music and successful in music and has achieved his aim, that he came to earth with the gift of singing. But what then does he need? He needs to go and hone his skill, learn, develop himself, and then stay on the assignment. A good footballer comes with the raw talent of playing. Okay, you guys, I believe you came with this ability to speak, and that's why you're succeeding in what you're doing. Okay, everyone, and that's why I don't say there's nobody that was created by God and is on the surface of the earth without a gift. Everyone has a talent, a gift, and your gift is a pointer to your path to success. But what do you do with the gift? You need to develop it. Okay, you need to know where you're going. You need to hone your skill. You need to improve your skill, and then you need to move forward.
Well, I'll bring in Tonya, but quickly, where is the place of parenting in sinking grace to grit?
But actually, parents helped in both ways. Okay, the first people that will introduce a child to grace is the parent.
True.
Because, well, one, you introduce them to the source of grace, which is God, and also you also introduce them to grace. Whatever we get from our parents are grace. And let me also say this. When we say grace, we can look at grace from two dimensions. We can look at it from the spiritual dimension, looking at it vertically and horizontally. You get grace from God, but you also get grace from people. Now, there was a research that was carried out not too long ago, and it was concluded that 80% of the first millionaires, of the millionaires in the world, are first-time millionaires. 80%. Only 20% inherited it. Can you see that record? So now, those who were born with silver spoon are people who have grace to survive. To succeed naturally. Yet they are not occupying the larger part, and that's why you can see somebody born in a very wealthy home and then doesn't necessarily go out and succeed.
True.
Most people are self-made or first-time wealthy people. What do you think makes the difference? It's the grit. The other guys born in a silver spoon home have grace. The resources is grace. The opportunity is grace. The connection is grace. But yet, a lot of them fail.
True.
But look at somebody from nowhere, no parental background, no nothing, comes out from the bottom and rises to the top. That's somebody who has operated with grit and grace.
Tonya, you also you read the book.
Yes, Great and Great. Yes, in your book, yes, we agree that grace is a divine gift. It actually needs our active participation. I would like to read the book of Psalm 139, verse 16. It said, that I did see my substance was from 15. My substance was not hid from thee when I was made in secret, and curiously wrought in the lowest part of the earth. The eyes did see my substance, yet being not perfect. And in thy book all my members were written, which in continuous was fashioned, when as yet was none of them. I totally agree with you with the fact that everything that we're made up of, God has given us all that we want. And that's place of we actively participating because He has given us the grace. Now, where I want you to really answer the question is, we agree that Nigeria, I've noticed that while we're all coming to the world, God has fashioned us with our various gifts and talents. But environment, the country we have found ourselves, can hinder even the grace and the grace. Because I've seen where Nigerians would live here, talk of intellect, they have it, talk of the skills, they have it. In fact, some of them would even try and do so many things for the government to see that I am talented here, but they are not pushed in or sucked in. And then they live here to an environment where the grace that God has given you, the gift God has given you, you have the system working, and as soon as you get into the system, that grace works well. And then you come to the black nation and you're asking yourself, is it a different God that created us? So why, how can Nigeria, I'm going to focus on my own country now, not Africa. How can our leaders, how can, from the grassroots home, how can they create that place where the grace, even this grit was saying, the tenacity, the courage, there is a way you be in an environment, the courage will fly away if there is nobody. So how, what can we help these ones coming up not to give up on grace and cause that there is no God?
Thank you. Well, you see, we can look at that subject on two angles. Okay. And I understand the fact that. Okay, let me start by telling you a story that just happened. I'm building in my factory. We're building another factory, and we laid the foundation just about a month or about 5 weeks ago. We did sand filling. Over almost 150 trucks load of big truckload of red soil was filled on that space. We cleared the bush that was there, and we did layers and layers of filling. And we brought graders, we brought to ram it and did everything. Now yesterday I went there just to inspect, and I was shocked to see that some plants are growing there. It amazes me. With all that, we filled sand, ramped, did everything, big caterpillar went over all the place to spread it and ram it.
Pound it, yeah.
And pound it. And yet, these plants still made their way out, and they're cassava. So I called on my staff. I said, what's happening? He said, we uprooted cassava and everything here. He said, that's the one still in the ground that came out. Now the question is this. That cassava still find its way out despite the terrain, despite what it saw. No, the soil is a clay soil, not the kind of soil that...
soil,
yes.
Yeah.
But yet it came out. Then also, let me use Israel as an example. In 1948, became a nation.
Yes.
And from that day till today, Israel has been fighting war. First, Israel is in a fertile land. It's in a desert land.
Yes.
Okay, surrounded by enemies, always at war. Israel don't have water, but yet Israel has the best technology in agriculture. One thing is, the reality is this: the way God has created us, He has created us to strive despite any challenges that we face. That's the way, and that's why He's there for us. He's able to pull us through the challenges. I've seen a lot of Nigerians make this as an excuse for they are not succeeding in life. Oh, the terrain is bad. Oh, the economy is bad. Leadership are bad. This and bad. But hello, Nigerians are making it. I'm making it. A lot of Nigerians are making it.
True.
People are breaking. Even great people who are making it. If you ask the rich guys, where did they come from? We're told that Abiola couldn't even afford schooling.
True.
He used to sell firewood to go to school. And he grows to become one of the richest person in Africa. Dangote, from his uncle was rich, gave him a loan. But if you ask some other guys, how did they come up? Obasanjo is from nowhere, rose to become a great leader. So we have people who, let's go west. Elon Musk grew up from a broken home. His father left at very early age in South Africa. His mother had to struggle to bring them up. Today is the richest person in the world. the truth is,
Even Microsoft tonight.
okay, yeah,
Yeah,
they are
it's
Bill
so many
Gates.
of them.
So, and so many people like that. Just like I said earlier, 80%, reports say 80% of world millionaires are first-time millionaires. That means they had no resources, they had no opportunity, they had no platforms. They're unlike the other guys who were born into wealth, who father had wealth, and where they, okay, I'm sorry to say, most, I don't want to mention them now, but some of these top rich people that we have in Nigeria that has passed on, are we hearing
Where are
them
the
for their children? Where are the
businesses?
children? Where are the businesses? These people were born into grace, abundant resources, abundant opportunity, but what did they do with it? But the people you find on the scene right now are fresh people, people with no pedigree, no history. But they're striving. The way God wired us is that no matter the situation, we will always succeed.
Yeah.
True.
Okay, but it's a mindset thing. Okay, if you set our mind that, oh, challenges are part of the ladder for me to rise in life, we'll see it that way.
Okay.
But if you look at challenges as, oh, this is my undoing, this is the end of me. You know, like someone said, if you see a bend, you understand that the road is just a bend, that the difference between a bend and an end is the B. You take the B out, you have an end. So is it that you see it as a bend, or you see it as an end? If you see it as a bend, you know that you just navigate yourself and continue your journey. Okay? But if you see it as an end, that's the end of it.
And then in that case, that spiritual aspect of it cannot be removed.
Oh, yes.
It can't be removed because even when you labor all through all of this, and there's no spirituality added to it, it's most times, yes, we look at the foreign nation, they're doing great, most of them don't even know God, and it's because they are following the principle.
Yes,
Simple.
exactly.
That's why they are getting it.
Yes.
True.
So what we need in Nigeria, it's not just the spirituality alone. We need
Balance.
yes, for us to produce results.
We need to balance it.
All right, we see on the show that a nation that doesn't read cannot develop, and I think that's become a no-brainer. We do not need to dwell on it. Now, book on review is 10 years, 27th, Echo Hotel, and I did say at the start of my show at 6 o'clock that starting for the 2 Saturdays before the 27th, we'll be giving out 5 tickets to be part of the very special guest to be there. Just listen, we're going to ask a few questions, and once you get it, we'll put your name down as a special guest. Well, right now we must go on a break. We'll need to suggest a song.
Okay, I think there's a
You
song that is
you want
really
to call
good.
a friend, or you want to
No,
or
there's
you
a song
want
on
to
my
call
mind.
wifey.
Okay, I can call wifey to come and
Okay.
she's here.
Wifey, can you come to the microphone and let's hear you? Yeah, you can use that. Yes. Yes. Go ahead. Yeah, we need to go on a break. What song?
Ojuro by Mike Abdul and someone else. Sorry, I can't remember the name of the other person.
All right. Before we get, that's Clement White.
Clement White.
Clement White.
Yeah. But before we get into that, I mean, in opening the book, so much was given to you. To my wife, to you, Now you've read the book. How does that make you feel?
Very proud.
Ah.
I have been one of the first people he's been teaching. And to see it out there, to also impact other people's life, I'm very proud. And I'm just, it's as if I wrote it myself. A part of me felt that way when I was reading it. And I'm glad that he has the platform to be able to teach a wider audience all that he has learned and he's actually practicing. Because that's the thing about my husband, Tunde Ebidero, is actually practicing what he is teaching and putting out there in his books.
Well, I mean, great to hear that. So here comes Mike Abdul, Clement White, and Ojuro. We'll be back. When we come back, we're going to dive straight into the book. And then you'll be telling us the 2 different kind of grace and much more. Just listen.